So there's a lot crammed into this, and this is all u substitution. All right, so let's say u over here is going to be 3x squared minus 4. U over here is going to be 4 minus 2t. U over here is going to be s cubed plus 1. U over here is going to be 1 plus 2x cubed. How do I know that? Okay, so here's what's happening. I see 3x squared minus 4. If I took the derivative of that, I get 6x. Well, I see an x over here. So that's going to work. We're only off by a constant, so I'll work that out. What I see in here, what's the derivative of u? Well, minus 2. That's just a constant. Who cares? So we're fine. What about in here? All right, the derivative of u is going to be 3s squared. Well, we have an s squared. It's a 2s squared. Okay, so we're only off by a multiplicative constant, so we're good. What about inside here? Well, the derivative is 6x squared, and I have a 7x squared. Okay, again, we're only off by a constant, and we can fudge that. All right, so we can use the shortcut that I showed you, or the long cut, and I'm just going to do the long cut here because, well, if you know the shortcut, go ahead and use it. Okay, so question A. I already have u there, so I'm going to go ahead and write du is equal to 6x dx. But I want just x dx, so I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. So I'm going to take this integral, and the x dx is just going to be du over 6. So now I've got the x dx part, and what remains is u to the 5 over 2. Now what do? You have to be very, very careful, because adding 1 is not as easy as it looks. Okay, the 1/6 constant just comes along for the ride. The one you have to divide by is the 7 over 2. Alright? So it's 1/6 times 2 over 7, so it's like 7 over 3. Junk to the 7 over 2 plus c. What was the junk? It was the u. It is the 3x squared minus 4. Okay? Great. What about question B? I'm going to try to put it over here. Again, I already have the u, so let's do du equals minus 2 dt. Great. And do we have a minus 2 dt? No. Divide by negative 2. Right? So then we're just going to change this integral. You need a negative 1/2 to go with your du. And then u is going to be to the minus 1/2, because when you put the square root around it, you get a half, and then the 1 over gives it the negative. So we're good to go. We just have to add 1, get 1/2, and then divide by the 1/2. But the 1/2 divided by the 1/2, that's going to cancel anyway. So that's just square root of u, and u is 4 minus 2t. Let's go ahead and put boxes around these answers. It's especially helpful because then you can stop the video at the end. Yeah, okay, I want a box. There we go. I love how my computer just decides what a box is supposed to look like. Yeah, it's close enough. Okay. Now what about question C? Du is 3s squared ds, but we need it to be 2. So we multiply by 2 and divide by 3. Okay, now we can do the swap out. We have a 2s squared ds, but instead we're going to have a 2/3 du over here. But then we're going to have u to the 6th. That's not so bad. U goes to the 7th. Everything gets to be divided by 7. Then 3 times 7 is 21. U to the 7th plus c. U is s cubed plus 1. And there we have it. Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, this is going to be a little aside. With fractions, what if you're telling me, well, okay, I'm confused about what you just did here? Well, you can just stack fractions a little bit deeper to make them easier to calculate if you want. If it doesn't make intuitive sense to you that that should be 2 over 21, then just put that 7 over 1 and then say 2/3 divided by 7 over 1, which means 2/3 flip multiply, and then it will be obvious. It's counterintuitive, but sometimes by stacking the fractions deeper, it is easier to calculate them. So if you have something like 3 over a quarter and you're like, oh shoot, I don't know what to do with that, what goes where? Oh, that's easy. It's just 3 over 1 divided by 1 over 4, so the answer is 3 over 1 times 4 over 1, so that must be 12. Okay? So just stack them deeper in order to solve them. Okay, and you can do this either in your head, or if you need to write it out, that's fine. Okay. Question D. du is 6x squared dx, but we want a 7. How obnoxious is that? 7 du over 6 is equal to 7x squared dx. Okay, now it all matches. And so now I can do the swap out. 7 over 6 du u squared. Now somebody may be asking, is it okay to just put this guy over here? And that's totally fine. I don't care. I just usually put it on the outside because that's what I do. But you can put it there, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you have u cubed divided by 3 plus c. And 3 times 6 is 18. U cubed plus c, and u is 1 plus 2x cubed. There we go. And don't forget your plus c's.